Okay, so interesting day yesterday, right? To say the least. So it looked like we were gonna break to the downside. We had mentioned this 4960 level, and then the day was mostly in balance, and then we made an attempt to break lower, and there was buyers defended here at just ahead of January high. And then like that was a big move that traveled all the way, went above the open, and then made new highs. And then Nvidia earnings happened right after the bell, and it was like a huge spike, huge short squeeze. And look at this, it traveled all the way through the range and made new highs, new all-time highs. So on ES, right? So remember what I keep mentioning always, right? Like you come back into the range, you travel to the other side of the range, right? Come back into the range, travel to the other side of the range. We had this two possible areas highlighted, this the 36 and the 60s. And then I said, if we come back above 5,000, don't be surprised if we come back all the way. I said I wanted to see this level, the 50.43. But, you know, overnight, everybody got excited, apparently, or squeezed. And we made new highs. We broke this high that was a poor high from a few days ago. And we had a target before of 50.70, which it looks like we're about to get there. So that was my target because we had a bullish imbalance from this day right here. So that was my target, and that would repair that imbalance. So now we have a range that is still being worked, in my opinion, and I think the point of control is going to shift up here at the 20-day point of control. I think it's going to shift eventually to 50.43, and we're going to have this range. Remember, like even though this looks super bullish, you know, we had a few days in a row that we were trending down, and now we're squeezing higher, but we're still in balance. So don't forget that. So to me, that means that unless we really clearly break these highs and start, you know, leaving like a low volume area and start putting volume above this, to me, this is still a range that we're trading at. And, you know, I'll be cautious initiating new longs in here. That's my opinion. Inventory is 100% long, which means that there's some inventory correction expected. But like I said in the notes, it's hard to get a correction of inventory when you have such a big gap, because everybody that was short is going to try to get out of the position by buying back, by covering. So every dip is likely going to be bought. Also, we left a bunch of single prints on the move up during the overnight. If you look here, we have single prints here at 50.45 to 50.41. We have one little bit single print right here. We have more single prints at the 50.25 area, and then we have this huge spike. You know, and finally, you know, the gap will close at 49.98 and a quarter. It depends on where you have how you have set up your chart. You know, if you have a 4 o'clock, 4:15 close or 5 p.m. close, it depends, right? But so anyway, my point is that it's not gonna be easy to correct I'm gonna be watching the previous week's high to see if we if buyers are here and if we maybe bounce from here higher. But the problem is that if we get here, then if we look at the larger time frame, we have this huge volume area at 50.43. So I think that we might fill this single prints and maybe have like a little bit of a balance and keep filling this volume in this range, which is still a little bit messy, and we want to see some acceptance in this range, right? So like some filling of this volume will be healthy for the market, in my opinion. So also we have news at 9:45 and we have news at 10. So I think we're gonna get a choppy open. So I'm gonna wait. So unless it's like some clear setup, I might scalp a few points at the open, but that's, it's not, in my opinion, this is gonna be a little bit of a choppy open until we define whether we're gonna stop, keep trading in this range or break out. Okay, NQ. Hope that made sense. NQ. Let's see what we have for NQ. So NQ, if you see what I was mentioning about ES being messy, this is a little cleaner in my opinion. The way the profile is, just the distribution is a little cleaner. It does have a little high volume area here, 1840, that we haven't retested yet. That I think that's gonna be a magnet. But it's a cleaner range. Remember with Nvidia we came all the way from here all the way to here. I was saying that this was a buy zone on NQ and we couldn't get much of a move on the day before, but yesterday this was this low volume area. We peaked below and then we came above and rallied from here and traveled almost all the way to value area high of this range. So if we cannot, or if we attempt to get to this 1840 and then fail, look for 17,850 as a target. And if we get above this area, take this highs, then I would look for 1840 and then an attempt to take this high. And then we have oil, crude oil. So crude is, it looks like it's kind of going back between the lower distribution and the upper distribution. But now it's looking more like a one big distribution, but the point of control is, notice how it's higher relative to the distribution. So to me this looks like a bullish imbalance and it looks like we're going to go towards the 80s. You see how this part is thin and then we're putting more volume in the upper part, in the upper side. So if we're able to get back above the 200 moving average and the point of control holds at 77.80, I would look for eventually a break and to retest the 80s. If you watch this level right here at 78.50, that's a high level delta bar which will act as some resistance. Notice how like it keeps holding there. So we really need to break 78.50 in order to be able to get to the 80s. So watch watch this first, holding above 77.90, and then if we need to stay above 78.50 to move higher. I think that's about it. All right, good luck everybody.